Welcome everybody to RPG Maker VX Ace, the Beginner's Guide, Video 5. In this video we're going to be covering enemies and battles, and I believe this is going to be a pretty fun episode. So let's go ahead and let's hop to it. So go ahead and pull up the map or the game that we were making in the previous videos, and let's go into the database again. So either click up here again or do F9. And let's go into enemies, because we're going to be messing with these today. Now the enemies for this RPG, according to the guide that we're going to be using slime, bat, hornet, spider, it's spelled rate, but we want rat, so you can go ahead and change that. Don't know why it's default to that, but we can change it. Next thing we're going to get is the skeleton, and then the demon. Alright, so you can see that most of them are already up here, so we just need to get the skeleton. So right click, copy, and then go to wisp and paste, and then go to the demon, right click, copy, and then go to large snake, right click, paste. And then to get rid of the other ones, we'll just change the maximum like we did in the other video, and maximum is 7. Go to OK. And there you go. These are the enemies we're going to be facing in this RPG. Now we're going to be messing with all of the stats and all of the information for these enemies. So let's go to the slime. Now, just to go over a little overview of what's in here, you can change the name, you can change the stats, so like how much hit points it has, how much luck, agility, and stuff like that. You can change the rewards, so like how much experience points it will drop, how much gold, and specific drop items, and the probability of the dropping those items. You can also change the skills, so the attack patterns and such. You can also change the parameters, and there you go. That's another thing you can change, is you can change the color hue of the monster. Now let's go ahead and do that for the slime. So double click in graphic. Now for this slime, down here you can see this hue knob. You can change it, and then you can see what type of color it will change into. So this will be a good for like change if you wanted to have the same type of monster, but you just wanted them to be different to make them look or contrast them between each other. You can change the hue of the color, or just change the hue. Yeah. Whatever. Anyways, so let's go ahead and just, I don't know, there you go. Just click whatever one you want, and we'll click OK. And there you go. This is the only thing that we're going to do for slime. So let's go ahead and go to bat. Now for the bat, again, you can just change the hue if you wanted to, and I'll just do that. And for the bat, we're going to be adding a skill. So double click into the action patterns, and we're going to be picking poison attack. No, never mind. Dark attack. That's what we're going to be using. So get dark attack, and then to the rating. Now how rating works is the higher the number, the more frequent that the monster will be using that attack. Okay. So since this is a special attack, and right here we already have attack, and it's set at 5, we don't want the bat to be using dark attack more often than just simply attacking. So let's go ahead and lower that to 3. So it'll attack more than it dark attacks, basically. Now how conditions work is you can always set it on always, which means that there are no real set conditions, just like it will be a natural algorithm that will be using the engine will use to dictate when the attack will happen. Or you can set a specific condition. So for instance, say you wanted a boss to use a special attack when its HP gets to a certain point. If that happens, then the monster will use this, say it will be a special attack that will be like its last hurrah before it dies. You can do that in this box here. But since we're just going to be having a normal attack, we just keep it like this and click OK. Now, the one thing that we need to remember, Dark Attack, when we created it in the last video, it was a blinding attack. If you go up here in features, you'll notice that there's already an attack state where it has blindness, a 25% chance for casting blindness. So it's not really a good idea to have an attack that does the same thing as an attack state. So it's best to just have one or the other. It doesn't really matter, just as long as you just have one. So in this case, I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of the attack state of blind 25% because we don't need it. And then I believe that is all that we're going to do for the bat. Yes. The next thing we're going to go to is the hornet. Now again, you can change the color. And then for the hornet, we're going to give it another attack as well. We're going to be giving it the poison attack. And we're going to again set it down to 3 so it doesn't use it all the time. We'll set the condition to always. And then notice, poison, and it also has this attack state of poison, 25%. So let's go ahead and get rid of that one because it's not needed. And we're also, the guide has it where it'll increase the experience and the gold just by 2. So experience up to 10 and gold up to 17. We're also going to set a drop item. So what you do here is go to an open slot and then go to the ellipsis, click it, and you'll get this drop item box. Now what you can do here is you can set what type of item will be dropped. You can do an item, a weapon, or an armor. And for this one we're just going to pick potion. And you can also set the probability that the monster will drop this item. So the guide states to put it to 5. So we'll have a 1 in 5 chance of the hornet dropping a potion when it's defeated. So go ahead and click OK. And that's pretty much what we're going to be doing for the hornet. So let's go ahead and go to the next monster, which is going to be the rat. Okay, so here's the rat, and you don't have to change the hue if you don't want to, but why not? Okay, now the thing that we're going to do for the rat is you notice down here, since in the last video when we were dealing with skills, we deleted a lot of them, and so for the monsters on default, they already had those skills, say, that we deleted. So what's happening now is that they just have these empty spaces in the attack patterns, but they're not completely erased. So what you can do is, if you see those, just delete them. They're not necessary. And what we're going to do is for the rat, we're going to add another attack. We're going to be adding the dual attack. And again, set it to 3, and then always, and then OK. And then, let's see, the next enemy, there's nothing else that we're going to be really doing for the rat. So let's get the next person, or the next enemy we're going to go to is the demon. So click that. Now for the demon, you can tell there were a lot of skills that were erased. So let's go ahead and clean that up by deleting them. Okay. Now we're going to create a special attack for the demon. The special attack is going to be a cleave attack. Now we're going to put this up as a rating of 10, which, that's pretty high. It's above strong attack, so it's going to be pretty powerful, and it's going to happen more often. However, we're going to set a turn condition. So how this works is the first number is what turn, in the sequence of turns, which one this attack will be, when this attack will happen, on which turn. We're going to set it on the 3rd turn. It will use this attack, and then it will happen every 3 turns afterwards. So that's what the next number is, or that's what the next number does. It sets how often that will occur. So we're going to have it on the 3rd turn, and then after that turn, 3 turns afterwards. So 3 and then 6 then 9, and then since it's at a higher rating, it will higher rating above strong attack, then we know that will always happen because it's a higher number. So go ahead and click OK. We also attack is not on here. We're going to go ahead and put that in there as well. So for attack, we'll have that here, and we are going to put that as a 5. And notice we have strong attack here, and that's already at 5 as well, but we don't want that. So let's go ahead and edit that to a 3, so that he'll be attacking more, doing a strong attack some of the time, but then once we head to that third turn, he'll be using cleave automatically, and then 3 turns afterwards he'll use it again, and so on and so forth until he's defeated. So that's pretty cool that you can do that. The next thing we're going to do is get rid of a certain amount of these things here. We're going to keep the hits parameter to 95, and we're going to keep the evade to 5%, as well as the physical. But we're going to be getting rid of the element rates. So fire, holy, and dark will delete. And let's see, we're also going to be changing up some of the stats. So right now it's at 800 max hit points. We're going to lower that since our characters are at lower. The highest level that our characters will achieve is 7, and this monster is certainly, a lot higher than that. So just to make it fair, we'll just mess with the settings. So max hit points is at 3,000. Max magic points will be at 1,500, and then attack will be at 40, and then 20, or let's see, defense will be at 30, and then magic attack will be at 20, magic defense will be at 30, agility will be at 30, and luck will be at 40. Okay, we'll also change the experience, because if we keep it that way, just 6,500, we'll probably gain like 8 levels just from that, which would be kind of cool. But just to make it fair, balanced, the guide puts it at 500, and the gold, it lowers that to 500, or never mind, 5,000. Okay. There's going to be no drop items because it's the final boss. Once you defeat this thing, you beat the game. So after that, we are done with this monster. However, there's a couple things that we can go in and change. Let's see here. Let's go into the skeletons. And let's see, we're going to be messing with just one of the stats. So go down to attack state, blind 25%. The guide has it, well, we're just going to be lowering that to 15% instead, just to make it more balanced. Okay. And then, let's see. We're also going to be lowering the experience points to 46, the gold to 75, and then the max hit points to 600. Then MP points will remain 0, attack 25, defense 14, and the magic attack 22, magic defense 18, and agility 25, then luck at 25 as well. Alright, and that should be everything. Let's see here. Yep. Alright, looks good. Now the next thing, let's see, we're going to go to the spider, yes, let's go to the spider, and we're going to just lower the poison as well to 15. Okay. Or actually, no, never mind. It'd be 10. That's what the guide puts it at. So put it to 10. And then, let's see. And then that should be it. Alright, so we've pretty much gone through all the monsters and changed up their stats, kind of balance them out. So that's pretty cool. Now, the next thing we're going to do is just go apply, so just to save everything. Now, what we're going to do next is we're going to create a special item. So let's go to, or actually a special, it's still an item, but it's an armor. So let's make a special armor, and we're going to, so what you'll do is go to armor tab, go to change maximum to 7, then go to the empty one, and this one we're going to be naming it the Ring of Udre. So Ring of Udre. And then find an icon that looks, good enough to be the item. So some type of ring. I got this one right here. And then we'll put in a description. And the description will be a powerful artifact of a hero long since passed away, and let's see, semicolon, there is still tremendous power in this ring, period. Alright, next thing we're going to set the armor type, and the armor type is going to be a heavy armor. So this already tells us, if we remember in the previous video, that the only character that we're going to be using that will be using heavy armor is the soldier, so the main character. I believe his name was Raphael. So that means that he will be the only one who will use this item. So that's pretty cool. We're gonna leave the price at 0 because we don't want to sell the ring. We need to change the equip type, and it's going to be an accessory. And then the guide has it where it adds 3 to defense. And then we need to set the parameters. Evasion, we'll keep that, but we'll make a new one. And then we'll add a skill. So add skill, click there. And we're going to be adding Thunder Cry. This is the crazy attack thing that makes the person a beast. So that's cool. And then let's see. So the guide goes to explain a whole bunch of other things that you could do to a special item just to make it even more special. And let's go ahead and go into those. So we have the rates here. So we have elemental rate. So it changes the damage multiplier according to the specified element. The higher the value, the greater the weakness against the element. So this will be like, say you want to have one monster have a weakness to ice. You would set the element rate. You would set the element to ice, and then you would set it to how much, how much of a rate it will be weak against the item. So it goes by how many times per ratio. So for instance, if I put it up to 200, that'll be 2 times the amount of weakness. So if I hit the monster with the elemental rate of ice that's 200, what would happen is the ice attack would hit it twice as harder, basically. So you can set that up. That's pretty cool. And then the debuff rate. Debuff changes the probability at which the use of a skill or item will succeed in debuffing a parameter. So if you wanted to say use this item to hit something and then it like messes up with its a specified attribute, so like agility or hit points, it will lower them for a bit. That'll be cool. It sets the probability of it happening. And then the state rate changes the probability at which the use of a skill or item will succeed in applying a state. So for instance, say we had say we had poison. So we have this item and it has a high enough chance of casting poison onto a creature. That's what you would do here for state rate. And then for state resist, it completely negates a state. If knockouts are negated, characters will not be knocked out even when their HP falls to 0. So you can make, for an item, you can make it so the person is immune to death. So that'd be kind of interesting. Or you can change that up to Thundercry or what have you. Now the other ones we have are, let's see, what are the ones we have? Oh, other. There's a whole bunch of different things here. Now, action times. It increases the number of times actions can be taken in battle by the specified probability. For example, entering 50% twice results in a character that has a 50% chance of acting twice and a 25% chance of acting 3 times. So, if you wanted a character to, in just one turn, like attack like 50, or no, not 50, but like 2 or 3 times, you'll set the probability here, and then it'll take 25. It will take 50% away from that after every turn or time. So as it's stated, if you have it where it's 100%, you would hit once, and then the next attack or action will be you'll have a 50% chance of that occurring, and then after that at 25%, and then after that, and on and so forth. That's pretty cool. Now, special flag is a special states. So auto battle, character acts independently without accepting commands in battle. Guard reduces damage taken at a set rate. Substitute, character suffers attack in place of allies with less HP. And preserve TP, accumulate TP are retained for the next battle. So you can set that up if you wanted to. That's pretty cool. And then collapse effect, valid only for enemies, changes the effect for when they are knocked out. Oh, that's pretty cool. So you can change it, be specific for a course of enemy, so that's pretty cool. And then part ability, valid only for actors. This is an ability that is shared by the entire party. It is enabled if at least one of the party members participating in a battle has this characteristic. Okay. So you'll be able to change up these things here. Let's see if the guide has anything special to say about, let's see. Oh, okay. So according to the guide, half encounters, or encounter half, will half the amount of encounters faced on the map normally. And then disable encounters will disable all encounters faced on the map normally. And then cancel surprise means that enemies will not be able to surprise attack your party and get a round of attacks for only the enemy. Raise preemptive will increase the chances of the party getting a preemptive strike, which allows the party to attack the enemies first and get a round of attack for only the party. And then gold double is, you gain double the money normally obtained. So that's pretty cool. And then the next one is doubles the chances of getting a droppable item from enemies when killed. Okay, so that's pretty cool. You can set that up. Alright. So we're not going to do any of that, but we're just to have a little overview of what those are. Alrighty. So we went ahead and fixed up our ring of Udray. Now what we're going to do is we're going to set up troops. So let's go to troops, and we're going to clean this up. So the ones that we are going to need, so we're going to need slimes, we're going to need bats, then hornets, then spiders, and then rat. We need to change that again to rat. Now the next thing we're going to need is well, first of all, let's go ahead and get rid of the ones we don't need. So let's see here. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Set it up to 5. However, we're going to add 2 extra, so we'll have 7. Oops, 7. So go to that, push OK. Get rid of these. Okay. Now we're going to change the rat, and we're going to, instead of having 3 rats, we're going to have 2 rats and a hornet. Now the way you do that, here you can set that up. So for instance, say I need to get rid of 1 rat, so let's get rid of this one. Just click with the one you want to get rid of, and then you go here to remove, and then we want a hornet, so we will click the hornet, and then we put add, and then here we can change around how it looks. That's pretty cool. So we'll change it kind of look like that. Now to auto name, or to name it, you can just name it yourself, or you can just auto name it and say we have rat +2 and then hornet. That's pretty cool. Now the next thing we're going to do, let's see, is we're going to go add, let's see, skeletons to this one. So go to 6 and then add skeleton. So we're going to add 2 of them. So then auto name that to skeleton 2. And then the next one is we're just going to add the 1 demon. So add the demon, auto name demon. Now we're going to do a couple more things in here. We are going to do a battle event. Well, we're going to change the condition here. So go down to don't run under condition in the battle event, and then go to the ellipsis. Now let's see, this one, if you click this, it's when the end of turn. It starts when all the actions of enemies and allies have finished, or you can set a turn, and this is, let's see, run when the specified turn has been surpassed. Specify the turn count with a plus b times x. If a equals 1 and b equals 3, the condition will be met at turn 1, 4, 7. Turn 0 signifies the command will be run before command entry. Then enemy, run when an enemy's HP is at or below a specified percentage. However, being downed, HP 0 takes priority to show a message on screen just before an enemy dies. Check Immortal on the enemy menu and use the change enemy state event command to set the down state. Actor, run when an actor's HP is at or below a specified percentage. And then switch, run when the specified switch is on. Oh, okay, so basically what this is, these are our conditions to trigger this battle event. So you can do a whole bunch of different things here. You can set a turn to when that will exactly happen. You can change when an enemy, if it gets below a certain amount of HP point, that will trigger this event. If an actor does as well, or if a switch happens. So that's pretty cool. So for this one, we're going to set a turn. We want this event to occur exactly at the very beginning of the battle. So go ahead and click OK. And we're going to have in the battle. And now we're going to set the condition. So we're going to set the event. So double click into the battle event. And we are going to put in a show text. So we're going to make a message. So let's get the graphic. And the graphic, you can choose whatever monster you want, but the guide has that. We're going to have him say, "You petty humans. Oops. You petty humans think you can overthrow space. Me, comma, the great demon lord." Question mark. And then everything else stays the same. Go ahead and do OK. And then this is actually pretty cool. You can do a battle test to test out the battle event and just test out just fighting the monster in general. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go. You can change the amount, like how many actors are going to be participating in the battle. You can change the weapons. You can change the stats. And so this will be a good way to like play test fighting different monsters and such, so that test out the basically if they're fair, and depending upon like the level as well as the items that are given and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. But first thing you're gonna do is we're gonna have, let's see, since this is the last boss, and I'm gonna, whoops, let's see, we knew that level 7 was the highest level that the characters will be able to achieve. So we'll put it at level 7, and then we'll go ahead and give him the necessary weapons. So let's see, we have battle axe, I'm sure we'll find that. Body, we'll have iron armor, we'll have the ring of Udre, and then let's go ahead and give it give it a try. So you go to initialize. Oh, never mind. So we have here, let's see. Oh, interesting. Oh, well, never mind then. So what this does is it just goes down to 1. Oh, duh. Okay. So what initialize does, as the guide states, I should have just read it right here. It sets the party member to the starting level and equipment that they are listed at under the database. So, durr. However, since we're not going to do that, we'll just put it up to 7. Battle axe, we want to, kick this guy's trash, right? So, go ahead and do that, and then go to OK, and we're going to fight the sucker. So you can notice that the condition occurred at the very beginning, as we wanted it to. He started saying some spiels, and we're now going to start fighting. If you want to get out of this, you can just click out, and then there you go. So that's pretty cool. You can do test out a battle test, and yeah. Alright. So that's the last thing we're going to be messing with in this for this video in this tab. However, we have one other thing that we're going to do, is we're going to fix up some encounters for the world map. So let's go ahead and hit apply, and then OK. And then let's go to the world map. Now what you want to do is we're going to set up the properties for this for enemy encounters on the map. However, to first test out to see if everything's going to work out on the map for an encounter, let's go ahead and set up an encounter over here in the forest. So right click, new event, and what we're going to do is we're going to do go ahead here to trigger, and we're just going to not make it randomized. We're just going to have it on player touch. So once the player touches this area, this square, then an event will occur. And so let's go ahead and program the event. So click in, go to tab 3, and we're going to do a battle processing. Now what we're going to do is we're going to have two slimes attack, and let's go ahead and do OK, and then apply, and then let's see. Let's go ahead and apply that, go to OK, and then let's go ahead and test this out. See if it's going to work. Alright, looks like it's working. Alright, so we know that that works. But since we're not going to be using a specified event like that, just go ahead and delete it. It was just for testing. But now we're going to set up the random encounters for the world map. So again, let's go into map properties again, and never mind. Go to world map, right click, go to map properties, or just push the space bar, and then in here we're going to set up some encounters. So let's go to over here and set up the troops. So for this one we're going to have slime 2s, and we're going to keep the weight at 10. What the weight is value that affects the frequency of which these encounter item is employed. So you'll have, let's see, okay, so the guide states in a scenario to kind of explain how that works. Say you have this team has a 10 weight and another group has a 5 weight. For the 10 weight, we have a 10 and 15 chance of facing this enemy, so we have a 67% chance. And then for the one that has a weight of 5, they have a 5 and 15 chance of being encountered, so they have a 33% chance. So this will be nice for if you have like more than one troop in a specific area, but you don't want one group having your actors face them as often. You can set that weight range so that you can mess with the encounter percentage. But according to the guide, let's see, it says to keep the range as whole. Okay, never mind. We're good. So go ahead. We're going to keep this at 10. Go to OK. Now the next one, we're going to go and do bat. We're going to set this weight to 3, so we're not going to be facing these as often as the slimes. And then make sure it's on the whole map for now. We'll eventually mess with the different regions later in another video, just to change things up a bit. Now the next thing we need to change is the steps average. So what this does is it sets the percentage of like the default percentage of steps that your actors would have to make until they face a monster or so. So just to better specify it, specifies encounters occurring after having walked a certain number of steps. So you have to do a real nice balancing act with this, because it can be really annoying for players if you encounter monsters way too often or not often enough. Like I believe in Final Fantasy 1 when it first came out, like you would barely have encounters. You would have to walk around a lot in order to encounter anything, and you would spend so much time doing that you wouldn't be leveling up or grinding and stuff like that, it would just grinding would take forever. It already does, but it would take even more. And then some games, you know, they encounter way too much, so it's just you just need a nice balance. It really depends on the size of the map, as well as like how difficult you want that map to be. So for this one, for the world map, for the size that it is, the guide states to put it at 10. So it's a nice number to have it on. So go ahead and click OK. Now what we're going to do is we're going to test out how it works. So let's go ahead and test it out again. So it said about every 10 steps or so, or around there, we'll have an encounter. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, 6. There we go. Sweet. So let's try that one more time. Oh, we're facing a bat this time. They set the blind on me. Cool. That was kind of interesting. The first time it was like 6 steps, the next time it was 3 steps. And we could tell that. Alright, cool. So that one happened within like 11 steps, it seemed like, so. Kind of has like its average, I think, is 10, but it can go anywhere in between, you know, anywhere by 10, or a little bit of 10, or a little below 10. So that's kind of how that works, and that's pretty cool. So this is the end of the video. So we've covered a whole bunch of stuff with enemies and battles and setting those up, as well as special items, and things are coming along very well for the game. I mean, we're actually, you know, it's just, hey, you're making a game. Isn't it awesome? Alright, anyways, I'm not going to hold you any longer. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and post them below, and we'll see you in the next video. Alright, happy trails.